Rwandan refugee turns himself in, admits to killing French priest. In France, on August 9th, Emmanuel Abayisenga, a Rwandan refugee in France, walked into a military police station in Vendee and turned himself in after confessing he had just murdered a priest. Police officers were dispatched to the location to conduct an investigation. The police found the body of Father Olivier Maire in Abayisenga's room at the location. Emmanuel had traveled to France as a refugee in 2012 and began working on his asylum application. His application was denied and he was subjected to expulsion. This murder incident by an asylum seeker has sparked political debates over immigration policies. Marine Le Pen, a far-right political figure and a member of the National Rally, criticized the government for allowing a denied asylum seeker to stay in France after being issued an expulsion order.
Wait, why did he? I might have missed it. Why did he do what was his motivation?
That's what's so weird about this. There has been no well-defined motive that's been released publicly as of late. The police did say that they don't think that it's extreme, radical extremism related. I can't say the T word because of YouTube, but they've said that they don't think it's that. But it's a very bizarre situation. So he was denied his asylum case. I'm not exactly clear when, but then he was basically he's been charged with arson. So before the murder, he was arrested for arson, where he started fires in a cathedral where he was volunteering as a warden, and this destroyed a 400-year-old church organ. And he was charged, and he was later released following disciplinary instructions. And then the cathedral basically didn't press legal action against him, and that they said, oh, we can trust him like we trust all of our helpers. What? And then this priest actually was lent him housing. This priest was housing him while his arson case was underway. And then this happened. And there's no real explanation that I found as to why. And people in the community are very upset about this because they're saying that everyone who's been harmed by this are essentially, as they used their words, victims of their charity, because this meant this priest actually lent this man housing.
Wait, so he first burned the church, burned a 400-year-old organ, and the church was like, it's okay, we're not going to press charges. In fact, stick around. And
yeah,
and after he burned the church, and they were like, we're actually going to continue keeping you around, and we're going to help you with housing. And the priest who was involved with trying to get him housing, he was like, okay, I'm going to murder you now. This is such a bizarre story. This guy doesn't seem well. I don't know.
No.
Actually, I'm not a mental health expert. I don't think there's any ideology or anything involved here. I just think this guy is not, his brain is not functioning properly. I assume. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not an expert.
I mean, okay? I don't think it takes a professional to say that this is some pretty bizarre behavior.
Yeah. Doesn't seem ideologically driven either. It just seems like this guy is has a major issues. What's wrong with the church though? Aren't you putting the people at church at risk if somebody committed arson and you just keep them around? We want to blame the French government, which we could do here. I don't know what the processes they have for when their asylum case doesn't go through. What is the process for them to remove them? Maybe it takes a while or something. So I don't know. I don't know enough about the process to be able to criticize the French government. But the goddamn church, this is when you see, we all know about the bad things about the church teaching and the Catholic Church or all Christian churches, but the so-called good parts of the Christian church is just moronic. It's they take good behavior and they make it they try to, like, the way that they try to be good is the most bizarre, nonsensical way possible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people are like, well, there's some good teachings in Christianity. I'm like, no, there isn't. They take good behavior and they break it apart. They're like, forgive everybody. I'm like, everybody? Like, yeah, everybody. Like, wait, so the murderer of my child? Like, yeah. Like, no, no, yet not. That is not. You're love everyone. Everyone, yeah, everybody. Love your enemies. Like, what are these like crazy requests? Like, these are it's impossible. Like, you're making a request of me that is impossible, and you're making it seem like that's a good thing. These are impossible requests. Love everybody. Forgive everybody. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like. No, you're making things that sound good, and you're breaking it apart, and you're ruining it, and you're making it seem like you're like having good teaching. Like, you're just
Well,
because you
because
take some
it's
good
too
behavior.
absolute.
Yes. Oh, thank you for, yeah. You're describing it much better than I. Yeah, it's too absolute, and this is the result. I mean, they think like they're being kind. You're putting people at risk. Your good nature has killed your priest. You're responsible. Your charitable good nature, like the things that you think is positive, is insane. And like, this guy, I don't actually blame this guy. This guy, if he's actually mentally has a mental disorder, that's not his fault. He doesn't seem like he knows. Like, it's not like his brain is functioning properly. If that is true, I think I blame the church more than this guy. This guy needs mental assistance or something. This guy is sick. But what about the church? You know, look at the good teachings of the church. Like, look at how they're trying to be charitable and good. They are responsible. Like, this guy was dangerous, and they could have put more people in danger. Like, he committed arson. Like, what about the people who are attending the church? You think you're being kind? You're putting these people's lives at risk, right? There's ways to be good, and there are ways to act like you're being good while being a moron and being irresponsible. So these are the
Well,
good teachings of. This is what I have a problem with, like the good parts of the Islam or Christianity. But go on.
it's really interesting because like a lot of commentary I've seen of people who are like representatives of this community kind of actually like doubles down on exactly what you were talking about. So the head of the religious community of Montfort Santino Brambilla, I'm pronouncing this like it's Spanish. I don't know how to pronounce it in French. Said he was not angry at the suspect even after Marie was killed. This is a human drama, but the suffering is great. And then Gerard Darmanin, who I believe is the interior minister, who has a reputation for being tough on immigration, said, quote, the charity, the spirit of welcome that governed the Catholic Church but ended in a drama is a point of honor that we must salute. So they're basically saying the fact that they were so charitable to the point that something like this has happened, like, is actually something like honorable.
Oh wow, we're so honored that we put our priests and our members and our church attendees at risk. Wow, such an honor. Guys, I'm also not angry at this guy. He seems like he's not well. Like, but I'm angry at the church. I think that, like, I don't think this person deserves much anger. Like, he just seems like he needs help. But the church, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the suspect had admitted that he had set 3 fires in the cathedral that he had been tasked with locking up. So like he had, and his little spat of arson happened about a year ago or a year prior. So he clearly had a wait, let me see this. The prosecutor's statement said that the Montfort community home took in Abayisenga after judicial authorities investigating the fire allowed him to leave prison on May 31st after judicial control. He was then hospitalized for psychiatric exams until July 29th when he returned to the order, meaning returned to the Catholic place where he was staying.
The same, like, wait, he went back to the same church that he put on fire?
Not the same church, because I'm not exactly sure how they are, what the system is, but they sounded like different locations from the way that I was reading it.
Right. Yeah, he shouldn't be going to any church after, like he set one on fire or any. Okay, I don't understand how French laws work. If somebody doesn't press charges for arson, you go free. Like, aren't you a danger to society? Like, shouldn't there be like, no, just because nobody pressed charges doesn't mean that you get to go free?
It
I don't
seemed
know how
like
French.
there was like they weren't going to themselves like really go after him, but there was still like processes that needed to occur, and then he was being housed with this. The priest offered him this housing while those other processes could continue.
All right.
That was my understanding.
I just think like it's just like if somebody is such a danger to society, they need to be held somewhere. I don't know. Again, I'm not a legal expert. I'm not a mental health expert, so I don't know. It just doesn't seem right.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.